to the Saudi Arabia event can be pretty chaotic, but who'd have thought it would have been chaotic in the ring and out the ring, as we've got plenty to get into. The first SmackDown of the new roster, the first SmackDown post Saudi Arabia, the first SmackDown where, I don't even know where I'm going with this. There's so much to get into. Let's just get right into it. Welcome to the Smack Attack. Money James McIver alongside my partner in crime, John Enright. And before I get to you, my man, congratulations, Canada Spaceman. First comment of the day, came to class early, ready to go, got his notepad and pen out. Good student there. What a man, top man.
Mm-hmm.
But here we go. Looks like deliveries have already started showing up, mate. You would have watched the live show, and then finally deliveries start showing up. Yep.
Yeah.
And so that'll happen. Not today. Yeah. I'm okay today. No. But how are you doing, John? How are we doing today? I just sort of had to do my acknowledgement.
I mean, this is how the day went. I got up. I watched last night. I had to do something, to get my mind off of last night. Got up this morning. Was still angry about last night. So I went to the gym and put in a leg day that just was beyond leg days, and deadlifting like half the building, getting it all out. And I'm at Planet Fitness, so you can only do so much before they start giving you shit. And so did all that and came home and was like, oh shit,
fuck, we gotta talk about this.
yeah. So yeah,
I mean it started all right. You can give it that.
No, let me get. I will say that. I will give it that. But here is how I feel about the booking in the show last night. All right, we ready? You ready? We're doing this high tech.
This is bullshit.
What is it?
This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
What is it?
This is bullshit.
And that just sums up about how I feel about last night. I mean, the booking and the decision making and everything about it last night was bullshit. I mean, I liked the start of the show, but everything after that just fell off the fucking cliff. I mean, I couldn't stand it. It was just ridiculous. And of course, we're going to talk about the end of the show, how they went off at the end of the air at the end of the night, which was fucking bullshit. Yeah, exactly.
That's the most egregious thing, was the ending. Everything that happened, everything in and around that. I've got a lot of words to say about that as well. Yeah. So can we talk about that? I mean, this is a SmackDown. I tell you what, we're coming off of a Saudi Arabia show, and it wasn't a bad show, all things considered as well.
I did see some of the clips. It looked like a decent show. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but coming out of it, you're thinking, okay, there's some things that should be done and over with, or and then then we watch a SmackDown, and you're just like,
rematch. Oh, like that's a record, right? Well, maybe not actually, because Raw is always a match after a Sunday, but
right,
this must be something special considering you have a match in Saudi Arabia. Was it 22-hour flight or something like that?
Yeah,
and then they get back to the arena.
Fucking Wichita, Kansas, as if
Wichita, Kansas.
You had the center of the fucking United States, and you had to do that.
I'm sorry, if you're at Crown Jewel the night before and you're performing, no offense to Wichita by any stretch, but if you haven't to go to Wichita to do that shit, fucking, you should be getting some extra pay this month. That's all I'm saying. That effort to get there overnight, fair play the match to get out of Saudi Arabia,
right? Yeah,
you know what I mean. But to go,
you have to wonder. You have to wonder the jets were already running, the engines were running, and they were ready to just slam and just as soon as somebody's match is over, get on the fucking bus, go to the plane,
move it.
Move your ass over there. And then,
fucking Vietnam getting on the helicopter. Yeah. Come on!
We're getting the fuck out of here. Let's go.
My God. The sooner they realize we're still here, the sooner they'll lock us in. Fuck me. But no, fair play to them getting into SmackDown and some of them doing some apart from Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, no one came out looking amazing. Although I did like Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn for considering the match it was and all that. But again, it's you literally leave Riyadh, get on the plane, get to Wichita, less glamorous, but then you're straight into doing the show. There's no downtime there. You're up, gone, in. there's not really much hotel room. You're probably sleeping on that plane, getting yourself ready. Like, man, I hope they've got the weekend off. I hope I don't know if they're still doing live shows or anything. I know they're back to live shows.
No,
so I hope they've got the
they're
weekend
not doing
off
live
tomorrow.
shows. The only shows that they're doing right now is the tours are Raw and SmackDown.
That's all right then. So
that's all they're
thank
doing.
God.
They're not to the point yet of live shows. And the question, honestly, will be: are they going to continue not doing live shows? House shows, because let's be honest, are they profitable? They're not really profitable if they're not going to be on. People don't go to live shows because they're not going to be on TV. So then it's like, what the fuck am I doing?
The value of them has went down as well. Like, nothing happens. Like, everyone knows nothing happens now. The illusion of going in and having a show, that's great for kids, don't get me wrong, but like the majority of even like the younger fans now are realizing that if you go to a live event, that not very much is going to be happening.
Right.
Like, it's just
and that's where I like listening to like the Orange Show and some of these guys on the Conrad's podcast where they're older, and TV wasn't those live shows were the end all be all. Those you would want to go to Charlotte or Greensville or some of these other places because you never know what could happen. The TV show was just to sell those other matches. Now we've completely flipped to where TV is the source. The live shows are to get you to TV, but even now people don't go for the live shows because they're not going to be on TV. So really you're going for the TV shows and the pay-per-views. And that's it. And that's where you're getting your money from. And so, you mean 205 Live is not touring? Yep. Well, I mean, I guess they're showing up after SmackDown, which who stays for that?
Well, funny you say that. Apparently no one stayed after SmackDown last night. Like, even the crew were leaving early.
Yeah.
They all fucked off early. All of them. This makes this whole like main event thing we'll talk about later even more mental.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the people who are left there are the cunts who have to deal with it. They're like, fuck's sake. Why now? Any other night, not tonight. Also, live chat bouncing. Hello, how you doing, guys? Thanks for coming. News breaking as well. Look at Canada Spaceman on it here. AC3 is going to be joining the brand. I had to actually double check that to make sure it's happening, but it is fucking class. Well done. That's going to be interesting to see how, because he's got some great stuff. I'd love to use opinions on a lot of things. Christmas special.
Yeah, shout out to Elizabeth. Sonic.
Yeah, Elizabeth, how you doing? So the heads are at.
Media M5. I haven't seen him before, so.
He's been in a few times. He jumps in now and again. So we've got a good. I like this crew. I like our bunch that comes on every Saturday. Thanks for coming.
Good crew. So, I guess we're gonna have to talk about this, but I mean, it was just,
not good. Like as I say, the first even the good stuff that happened. Nobody worth remembering. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us in the live chat. But think about the opening. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, the Heyman stuff, that took 36 minutes of TV time. That took over a third of the show got dedicated to this. Now, if you followed it, it was not the most expansive show, shall we say. It didn't really fill any gaps. It just kind of basically what this led to. We should maybe talk about the segment, but this led to Brock Lesnar getting suspended. So this whole 45 minutes just spent on writing them out, but maybe not.
Let's be honest. It's Adam Pearce. I mean, it's not like it was Vincent Mann. I mean, we saw what he did. I mean, poor Adam Pearce. And then of course, here's the thing, right? So Adam Pearce takes 2 F5s and they treat it as if he's been fucking murdered.
Yeah.
You don't see him again for the rest of the night. And Sonya Deville's like, we're going to do this by myself. And she's like, I told her I would tell Brock, but and I was like, okay.
It's just what I loved about it was that he pure played the hard man. First off, it was like, he's suspended. He's gone. He's out. And as soon as Lesnar came out, it was like, it's not my fault, man. I'm just doing what I'm told. Fuck off. You were loving that at first.
And it was just, I mean, don't get me wrong. Was it a good 36 minutes? I enjoyed it, yes, but it was so long. You could have cut that in half. Let's be honest. You could have cut that.
Totally. Elizabeth made a great point as well. It wasn't like there was much wrestling last night. You totally could have had the people who didn't travel to Saudi wrestle last night.
Yeah.
You totally could have. This could have been a showcase show for Hit Row, Bronson Reed, the Xia Li, they were doing like promos and packages for them. Just get them on the show.
Yeah,
Just do it.
No shit. I mean, technically, I guess they did with Hit Row, but that was like, you had the jobbers from Wichita, and they're trying to build those guys up.
My god, that was such good. That was such a good segment for McAfee.
Yeah,
you excelled.
This is again, you had Cole who went to Saudi Arabia. You had McAfee who didn't, and boy, again, McAfee just saved the show. As far as some of the segments went, because it was just so brutal.
Yeah,
so brutal. I mean, and that's where it's one of those things of, okay, I watched the highlights of Crown Jewel and it's like, okay, all right, not a bad show. There was some interesting things. I mean, Goldberg going over Bobby Lashley, okay, I guess, but the way they did it, going off the stage, and I get that.
Fair play to Goldberg, but I've mouthed off about him quite a lot on this show now and again, but I'll give him his due. I will give him his fair due here. Like, he had an all right match, and in that spot at the end, he did it like a champ. You know what? There's no taking that away from him.
No.
Like, well done.
No, the Edge match and Seth Rollins match, very good. Watching Seth have the body control to bounce off the cage and land on the table, that takes some serious body control, and that was impressive. And so that was really good. I'm gonna say the intrigue with the whole Brock Roman match, I enjoyed it. And of course, like I think Cole said, this is what you expect out of a heavyweight match. I mean, these two guys just going after each other, and then of course the end of it was all right, but still, again, you have that whole Paul Heyman, who were you throwing the belt to kind of thing, and
that is just picture perfect how he pulled that off as well. There's no getting it. Like, that's why this is the best story on TV right now, and it's about to get suspended. Mainly, but it was just that beautiful moment where he's hedging his bets. That's all he's doing. He's like, I don't know who's going to grab this belt, but whoever grabs it, I'll be walking out with them.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just good stuff. Sonic said McAfee trying to take these guys' jobs. McAfee talking about who is this guy when Pierce was in the ring. I mean, that sounds about right. I mean,
at first I thought Pierce was one of the guys getting thrown over the table. Like at one point.
Yeah. But anyway, and then of course R.I.P. to Pierce's pants after that second.
Oh my god.
And then McAfee points it out when they go to the replay. Hey, he even blew out his pants. Like,
that's Vince in his ear all day long. Like, talk about him, talk about the pants.
Yeah. And I mean, Brock suspended because WWE has nothing for him. So,
they've got the best storyline in the whole company right now. Nothing for them.
Yeah.
WWE are just,
I don't know.
Put him on a ramp. Well, I know he doesn't have to be there every week. To be fair, you have to pay him if he is there. So I think that's the other thing. Although they just got a chonky paycheck off of the Saudi Arabian government on Thursday night. Come on, spend some of that, mate. Yeah. Come on, spend some of that penny. But that opening segment was a really good one. Roman Reigns coming out, bragging about his win, questioning Paul Heyman about throwing the belt, how he done it, and all that stuff. Maybe not fully trusting him quite yet. And there was a weird bit when he was like, "Do you want me to fight Brock Lesnar tonight? You want me to kick his ass? Yay!" Then acknowledge me. Like he was doing the whole baby face thing. Do you want me to do this? Do you want us to do that? Acknowledge me, you fucks. Fucking. Dude, I'm the boss here. and he just stood in the ring for ages until well, I say for ages, a commercial breaks. I wish we had someone on the chat right now that actually saw the thing in the arena, because I would have loved to know what Roman Reigns did for that time, like through the commercial break and all that.
Right.
Like the time he was killing before Lesnar came out.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to know.
Yeah. So Media M5 says, can they suspend a free agent? Yes, they can, because technically he's still employed by WWE per se. So even though he's a free agent, that means he's suspended. But, the question becomes, does that mean he's suspended on SmackDown only because it was Adam Pearce? But we know Adam Pearce flips and flops between both shows, but we see him more on SmackDown, him and Sonya Deville. But I would say that because he's technically a WWE employee, that yes, he is suspended.
We'll go on to the next paper. I think it's gonna be longer. I think it's Royal Rumble. because
Yeah.
we've got Survivor Series,
Right.
then
Which
it's
was
day
mentioned.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it'll be champ versus champ, so it'll be Big E that will be facing.
Yeah.
Then there's day one, which I would imagine would be Drew McIntyre. I think that'd be the match they want to make for that. And then Brock Lesnar. I can see Brock winning the Rumble now because of what's happened over the past couple of nights. And then setting up Reigns versus Lesnar, whatever.
WrestleMania. You know
third time round at WrestleMania.
Yeah, you know they want to hold this off to WrestleMania. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Because we've got no one else.
Yeah,
Nobody else now. It's. We know what we want to do with Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Probably being Rock doesn't want to work WrestleMania in Texas. So we're kind of in a bit of a weird holding pattern until we get to Los Angeles the next year. But I suppose it makes Roman Reigns' record look amazing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Why wouldn't you want to work it in Texas where you're going to have the largest crowd ever when he did that before? You know, I mean, I get it. It's LA. It's a lot easier commute, for him because, he lives there. But, you're going to have 100,000 people in the stadium. I mean, and we saw what happened the last time, they popped and that place went nuts. Why not have it there with the most people ever? To me, that makes more sense in the long run. I mean, granted, I'm not saying this because, I'm Texan and I'm just thinking about logistically, if you're The Rock, why not have it in the largest stadium ever?
If he's got, although if he is on a schedule, though, if he has got a film plan for it, then
he's got shit tons of films. You got Black Adam they just finished, which I don't know if you saw the trailer for that.
I like the look of it. Actually,
dude, it looks so good. And I don't know if you know Aldous Hodge. He's playing Hawkman. He is on my favorite show, Leverage, which is so him cast as Hawkman is very, very good. Pierce Brosnan is Dr. Fate, super good choice on that. I mean, the cast that they have for this movie looks amazing, and so I'm looking forward. So who knows what's next? I know he's got also the
got the Red Room. Is that what it's called? The Red Room with Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds.
Red Notice. Yeah, that looks cool.
Oh my god, that looks good. Oh, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
To be fair, anything with Gal Gadot.
Oh yeah, I'm good with.
She drip your arm off, but.
Yeah, no, fucking Israeli special forces. Fuck yeah, she would. Literally in real life, you would. Could you imagine like not trying to like sneak up on her, but like you catch her off guard. Like, you're just like, oh, Miss Godot, we need to move on. Like, you touch her like on the arm, like, all of a sudden, just snaps your arm in half, and you're just like,
you do not put a foot wrong with Gal Gadot.
No,
the opportunity. That's an advice to every man in the world. If you get the opportunity to go out with Gal Gadot, don't fuck it up.
Yeah,
because she will fuck you up.
Yes, yeah,
and come on, deserves better.
Yeah, I mean, so. We know that movies are his thing, but surely this is going to be a payday that'll help with him, in the long run too.
Yeah.
So why not do it in the biggest place possible? Could you get more commercially out of LA? Probably, but
I think that's what their game plan is. So it's like the Rock, they would still consider The Rock their guy. So like, that's our guy in Hollywood. He's our guy. He's ours.
I can see that. But like it's one of those things of, again, movies are starting to make a comeback. I haven't seen the new Bond yet. I'm working, which is sacrilege for me because I own all 24 films. I love Bond. And everything, I've read says this is an amazing film, which I mean, I think I'm going to go tomorrow with Jacob and Jake because this is like a dad son thing we always do is we go watch Bond together. Used to it would be me and my dad. But now it's my dad's, a little further away. So, we're doing that, and of course, then now Dune just came out, and I want to see that. There's a lot of movies that are starting to come back that are, movie theater wise, and I'm like, okay, let's go watch this kind of stuff.
What time to be alive again, by the way.
Oh, thank God for movie theaters and stuff like that we're having to get this, and Dune and Bond are movies that you have to go see in the theater. I don't care that they're streaming on HBO. Dune is you have to go watch that movie in the theater. You can't do it in your TV on your house.
I need to watch the OG one. I need to watch the original. I've never watched it.
Oh, you've never seen the original from like the 70s?
Yeah, never.
Have you read the
always
books?
had the video. No, I've not seen a thing about it. My aunt's had the video, and I've just sort of kind of glanced at it, but I've never like watched it. I might go for it. I might have a go because
if you watch the 70s version, it'll make you appreciate this version. I think even more. The 70s version has Patrick Stewart. He's got hair. Yeah,
What?
yeah, he's got hair. I mean, he's kind of skullet kind of hair and long, and stuff like that. It's very interesting. Some of the characters that you see in the 70s version, you're like, I see that, I recognize that, but it is definitely interesting to watch. Some of the things in that, and then not to say that it's bad. It's just it's different, and then you watch, So then comparing it to what we're going to see with this version, and of course now with all the computer CGI stuff and everything along those lines, I'm just interested to see how it's going to compare. And of course, having read the book is just so expansive, and it's just so deep that nothing's going to compare to the book. So I'm not going to compare it to the book, but still, it'll be interesting to see how it compares to the book of what they're able to garner and pull from to make it work. Kind of like with the Lord of the Rings stuff. People bitched, oh, well, this was in the book, or they had to do this. It's like they made it. They took these massive books and made it a 4-hour movie. They couldn't get everything in, and they put 4 hours into it. So what the fuck do you want? So.
All of the yes going on in the chat right now. First off, Sonny Hedge, right? Yes, GoldenEye on the N64 was an absolute legendary game. I could talk for hours about that. Unbelievable. Yes. But then Elizabeth, double yes.
Yes.
Couch PJs wrapped up in a blanket. That is my life. Absolutely my life.
She follows up with the best comment ever.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Elizabeth, hey, I am single. If you're single, let's do this. I'm telling you right now.
Oh man, we're on it. Winner,
chicken dinner. So
unbelievable.
And welcome, Cujo62. Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us in the chat.
Yeah,
hit the hat tricks there. Who's better than James? But Dean Martin's Matt Helm. What's that from? Hang on, I'm not rising to that. I'm not rising to that.
No, we're not doing that.
Anyway, we should really talk about SmackDown. Good opening segment. But this is because to be honest, we could probably speed through a lot of the SmackDown, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way. Fuck all happened, really. Well, I say that. I did like the next segment was the Drew McIntyre segment, wasn't it?
Because we've done the Brock Lesnar segment.
He
walked out. They beat the shit out of each other. He threw people all over the place, and then Adam Pearce comes out and confidently says, "Oh, you're suspended," and then got the shit beat out of him. And so Brock Lesnar. Somebody texted me last night and was like, "Hey, can you explain the Brock ponytail thing to me?" I was like, "It's just Brock."
I'm liking it.
I like it too, but I said that's just Brock being Brock. What do you? I mean, it's Brock Lesnar. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants, and this is just another symbol of that. Of oh, I'm suspended. I did like that. I'm suspended. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. And he's like banging the microphone on his head. And like, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
There's nothing to do downtown.
Yeah, I know, right? Just
right there, reference like.
So I did appreciate that. It was, I think, a little too long, as we've just addressed. But then you had this weird thing after where Drew McIntyre's in the back with Sonya Deville, and it's like, I don't care what you say, I'm going to go out and have an open thing. And
but that's just like after the Naomi thing, where Naomi's like, I want my match with you, I want my rematch. Well, you can't have that. And then Drew just went, I'm just having a match.
Yeah,
do what you want. Double standards in management.
I'm new to SmackDown, but I'm going to walk in and tell you what the fuck I want to do because I'm Drew fucking McIntyre.
Yeah.
And,
I'm
going to have a match. I'm going to have a match.
Don't care how long it is, who it is, just get me it.
Yeah. And I mean, of all the people in the back, we have Sami Zayn, and we have new music for Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Let's just talk about that for a second. Why?
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
What was even the need for it? It's the right. This is the kind of music it was from fucking. It was the kind of music you'd hear in No Mercy in 1998. Bring it back to the N64 reference. It was so generic. Like, what are we doing? Like, his music was fine.
Yeah,
it really was fine.
It was,
and people loved it.
People, and then it was that ska music was like almost heat magnet music. I mean,
he's been heel for a couple of years now, so it's not as if like you're doing it because he's a heel, because you could have done that ages ago. You could have done it forever ago. Mm-hmm. But then they're changing it now. Even when he tried to dance to it, it just didn't seem right. It just felt wrong. All wrong. Mm-hmm. I was just like, this is not the right way. Change it back.
Yeah.
But they probably won't, as we saw with the Bearcat Keith Lee thing, where he's now just called Bearcat Lee.
Bearcat Lee.
Great stuff. But like, it was a good match. This is the other thing I would say. The matches that we did get weren't bad matches at all.
It was.
Like,
It was. I'm going to say it was okay. I mean, granted, Drew is coming off of having wrestled in Saudi Arabia. So there is a curve there. I'm not going to say it's a great match. I thought it was a good match. It was decent. That I felt once again, this went on a lot longer than it should have. To be honest with you, I mean, I get it. Sami Zayn, I'm the elder statesman of SmackDown, and he's doing all that, bullshit. But it's like, somebody's going to come out here, I want to kick their ass. And it was just like, Sami Zayn? Like, really? Sami Zayn's going to be the person to come out there? Like, I was expecting Cesaro. He'll be like, yeah, fuck, let's go fight. Come on.
who would have been good for this? And you might think I'm being crazy here, but know who would have been really good? Someone from Hit Row.
Yeah.
Like, if you just cut those two segments in half, right?
Yeah.
You have Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Swerve Scott. Or what's the big guy's name again there? I forgot his name.
I forget his name, but I know him and the other guy are usually tag teaming. I think they're usually tag teaming together. Usually Swerve Scott's by himself, and then B-Fab's by themselves, for the women's. And the other two guys are usually.
Could you imagine Big Drew giving it the big end, talking about like open challenge, and then Hit Row coming out, doing that entrance that they did last night? Yeah. Oh, we're setting them off on the races. Wait away. None of this jobber nonsense. It's like, it doesn't matter if they win or lose. Like, at that point, they're in the ring with the former WWE champion, big name, Drew McIntyre. You can just have a match like that for about 5-10 minutes. And then at the end, you can have Drew shake their hand and then walk on out. Bang. Here they are. They're here to stay. They're going to make a name for themselves on SmackDown. Like, that would have been such a great job. I think that would have been brilliant for them. And you're making the use of this. Is what this show should have been. This is my problem with the show. Is it should have been the showcase of everyone who's coming to SmackDown.
Exactly.
And it's like what was it? Elizabeth had said, you could have just put everyone who wasn't on Saudi Arabia's show the night before on this card, and you would have absolutely been solid gold. You still had like Sami Zayn, Barry Corbin, Nakamura, and Boogs. There was names there that were already in the mix on SmackDown that we can make use of for the likes of Hit Row. I've already named them, but man, this is just we blew a good shot here. Yeah. We really did.
I mean, why the hell not give Drew the night off? You've got Ricochet, you've got some of these other guys that have come over, and you could have used them. You could have used them. Why the fuck did Drew have to have a match? He wrestled the night before in Saudi Arabia, and he goes up against Sami Zayn of all people. I mean, give me a match where somebody comes out and be like, okay, I want to see that. Sami Zayn is a chicken shit heel. I don't give a shit about Sami Zayn. I want to see a match where something happens. So give Drew the night off. Have him. By the way, I understand what they're doing, but the fucking sword's got to go. The Claymore sword.
I'm not having that.
No, it's stupid. Why are you're bringing a fucking sword to the ring which you're never going to use? Why?
It's traditional. It's
bullshit.
It's
bullshit.
Traditional.
Unless he's going to cut somebody's fucking head off with the Claymore, stop bringing the stupid sword to the ring.
I mean, you might. You never know.
Did you see last night? The sword's name is like Angela, or at least
Angela,
Angela, because that's his mom's name or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm like,
I thought it was really nice. I thought it was a nice wee tribute to his mom.
I was like, what the fuck? You really like? I mean, granted, I haven't seen a ton of Drew McIntyre, obviously, because he's been on Raw, and I didn't realize. Like, I know there's something about the sword, and I'd seen like they did something with it a while back, but I didn't realize he was still coming out with it. And I mean, I'm gonna be
because it was like big part of his entrance now because he was sword in and then.
But he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He walked out and he's pointing the sword. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Get this. No, this is stupid. Yeah. This is where the sword needs to die. It needs to go away.
See, for and you simple American folks would be like, that's just stupid. You know what that is? That's Drew being top peak Raj, proper Raj from Scotland. Because it's like, fuck it. If I'm coming for you, I'm going to jib you. And if I can, I'm bringing a sword. Yeah, can't. I'm gonna fucking get in. Like he's just kind of representing what we would do in that situation. We had a sword and we need to get stuck in about someone. We're bringing the sword. We're just gonna bring it. Fuck it. I'm gonna come at you with a sword.
Then swing at it like you're gonna cut somebody's fucking head off. Don't have it there. Just like that again. This is.
But then we bring it, and then we don't use it because we're nails. That's
Right.
what. That's what that's about.
But I mean, it makes him look again. It makes him look less than because he's first of all he's walking with a sword. He doesn't need a sword to the ring. The dude is like what 6'10", 2 something, just jacked to the gills, fucking specimen as
makes everyone
which,
small.
by the way, Pat McAfee, was like drooling all over him last night. The statuesque,
especially when he was like, "How much does he weigh?" 285. Oh,
yeah,
that's what he made him go for it. It's like,
yeah.
yep.
Well, and at the end when he's standing there doing that, he's like the statuesque of a man,
Pure Scottish beef. That is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I've not used that yet. Scottish beef.
I'm sure that's coming.
Get the label on it and everything. Boom.
Yeah. But like that's the thing. He doesn't need a sword. He's gonna whip so much ass in the ring. Look at him. It makes him look less like. Why does he need a sword? He doesn't. He's the badass Scottish dude. He doesn't need that sword.
I preferred it when he came out in the kilt. If I'm totally honest, I quite like that. Like, come out in the kilt, he looked like a warrior.
Well, I mean, like even last night, he had the sword, but he just had the kilt on. He looked badass. I liked that look. I mean, it's a great look, and he wrestles with it. And I mean, it looks awesome. He doesn't need the sword, Candace Spaceman. Raw. Look at the size of Drew's sword. Cujo, bro, sword is for the ladies. Phallic.
Yeah, he knows his game. To be fair, Drew is a ladies' man. To be fair.
Yeah.
But back to the point at hand is like we could have done something with this, and like I don't mind Drew being on this show if he was going to be put up with like Hit Row or Bronson Reed or anyone who's got brought into the SmackDown to kind of make, because what we should be doing, and this is the thing,
Rich
if
Holland.
we're really good. Rich Holland, sorry, did I say Bronson Reed? My mistake.
Yeah, Rich Holland or Sheamus even. I mean, what the fuck, Or I would have loved to see Rich Holland versus Sheamus.
Totally.
British versus Irish. I mean, then you have Scottish versus British versus. You have this three-way of these three going.
Or you pair them up. You bring them together as a faction. Fuck, let's just do it.
Yeah,
the United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom.
Easy.
Oh wait, I think that's the United Empire. That's Will Ospreay's bit, but still, you do something like that. Why not have Rich Holland? You had all these like
many options.
It's so many people who ended up not wrestling at all in the back, going, "I'm Rich Holland and I fought, in the streets or whatever." And he holds up the Billy Club. You got Sheamus. Great, but I want to see them wrestle. I want to see them wrestle. They didn't do shit the night before. Let's put it on. And I mean,
and this is the other problem, though, right? We're setting ourselves up for Survivor Series. That's what this is all heading to now. We already started to build for it. I don't care. Like, you can put that to the wayside for a minute. If I don't care about who these rosters are, what they're about, how important they're supposed to be, then there's no point in doing this pay-per-view like this. There's no reason to kind of approach it like this. So they need to work on that. Like, this is why I think the draft happening now and then doing Survivor Series right after is always stupid, because you'll never get the established roster that you want. Like, SmackDown is the better show, but you would argue that in terms of the big name talents, we don't have as many now. They've all moved on. They're all doing their own thing. So, let's say they're doing their own thing. They all moved to Raw. So we've got to build up this roster again. We've got to make it look as fashionable and quality as possible. And so you've got to lay a planter down. Who's your guys? Who's going to be the ones to follow for the next year and a half? Who's going to be title contenders? Who will be this and that? We need to know who the players are.
Yeah.
And so far, we only know of 2, maybe 4. But 2 of those players are on other brands now.
Especially if you didn't see the other brands of NXT or Raw, you're like, okay, who's this guy? And by the way, Elizabeth, it says, and tonight they're doing some kind of replay with Crown Jewel highlights on Fox. Is that true? It's fucking college football Saturday. Usually Fox has like big ass games on Saturday, So why the fuck would that happen when there's
Saudi money, boys?
I guess
big money.
Is that real? Surely that's not real, Elizabeth. Surely you are lying to me. You're trying to tease me a little bit because it's college football Saturday. Because there is no way in hell Fox is giving up college football time for Crown Jewel highlights. There's no way.
You never know. You absolutely never know. Like there's they're trying to take over the world, Saudi Arabia. Let's be honest, but they're not going to do it by bombs and armies. No, they're just going to take. They're buy shit. They're buy it all.
If Saudi Arabia wants to give us money so we can fucking talk good about them, I'll do it. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, I mean, working for a nonprofit don't pay much. I'll take a couple million for me to shut up and suck your balls and tell you how great you are. But I'm not going to right now.
I know.
They, they're paid shows essentially. People are coming in. You're telling them when to cheer. You know, I mean, I don't know if you watch. It's just
sports washing. That's what they're doing just now. Like the WWE, you've got Newcastle United. That's all that is. Sports washing, because folk will just talk about that and then nothing else. They'll totally avoid the whole human rights issues that they've got going on there as well. I mean, like, we should never forget that. And that's why these shows will always be controversial, and they'll always not go down well with the majority of people. It's just there's a precedent set. Their history, everything that they do, everything that they're about, it's all, you can be skeptical. You can't not be skeptical unless you live in Saudi Arabia. And like, the only thing in my head, if I was in WWE and I was like, right, how am I looking at this? I could be like Sami Zayn or other talents and just not do it. Or do I look at this and go, right, there's kids there, and kids aren't really the problem in Saudi Arabia. They're the ones killing people over like press.
Right.
They're not the ones buying the oils. They're not the ones buying the foot clubs. They're not the ones that are enforcing all these laws. So you can maybe look at it and say, well, kids, let's do it for the kids. You know, like, give them a show. They watch it. Let them do that. But then the other side, you're like, it's such a weird sort of retweet. Oh, is it tweet? It's Fox TV will air an encore presentation of SmackDown with a special look at Crown Jewel tonight at 8 and 7 Central.
Bullshit. That is prime college football. That is prime college. Unless Fox has like the West Coast, like UCLA versus whoever they're playing today, or like a Pac-10 team.
UFC's on tonight. UFC's started already, so they're up against. Yeah, that's the Vittori Costa card tonight. Shite card, not the best card, bit shit. But,
wait, is this the one with Poirier, or is that?
No, Poirier's in December.
In December, okay, all right. I couldn't remember.
I think I'm working that weekend, which is such bullshit. Damn, it's like I might be working that weekend, which is bollocks. Like, damn, I'm gonna have to like work out a way of like sleep, then watch it, then sleep, then get up and go to work.
Cujo 62. There are some crap games this week, and same with the NFL. Of course, the NFL this week, the games are pretty shit too. So it is a shit football weekend all in general. But a lot of the games that are good are already being played right now. They're being played right now, and so
I agree. Getting gubbed off Watford 5-2. 5-1. Sorry. I also agree that it's 5-2. It was 5-2. I agree. It's a shit week for football.
Yeah. I mean, I watched Arsenal this week too. That was.
Hey, you got great result last night, to be fair. Against Aston Villa. And Ethan Smith Rowe is just
Yes, but man. that a game earlier in the week was just fucking shit, you know.
Yeah, it was shambles. Palace are doing all right, like, to be fair. Although they drew with Newcastle earlier, so
I don't know.
Standards and all that.
I'm at the point now going, what the fuck am I doing with Arsenal at this point? You know, just
your loyalty to your mate has let you down.
Yeah, I know, right?
I can't say too much. We're on a scale again, so great time being an Everton fan. Back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Do we have to?
That's what we're talking about today. I'm just having fun with my friend talking stuff.
Totally. This is a great show. I'm loving this. Yeah. This is just one of those shows where we're basically we're just kind of circling round and round until we get to the main event segment, and then it gets juicy.
Canada Spaceman, 12 Mighty Orphans, starring Luke Wilson, Vanessa Shaw. That was actually filmed here in Weatherford. There's a place here called the Pythian Home. It looks like a castle. And so when you see that is literally about 6 minutes from my house. It is less than 4 minutes from my work. As a matter of fact, my son actually auditioned to be in the movie. They had a casting call for local kids out here to do it. And I was like, oh, cool. And he got through the first round, but he never got called past the second round, which was, it is what it is.
They're tough gigs, those ones. You've got to really
But
Like
it would have been
thousands
cool.
of people do.
I mean, dude, I would have freaked out if I'd have been able to go on set with Luke Wilson, Vanessa Shaw, Robert Duvall, Martin Sheen. I mean, it's a great story,
Yeah.
and it's a true story about how basically this orphanage here in Texas got these boys to play football, and they ended up winning a state championship out of it. You know, and
Oh yeah, I've seen the trailers for that. It looks
yeah,
really good.
it's a great movie. They premiered it here in Fort Worth. And as a matter of fact, then they did some stuff here in Weatherford when the movie premiered too, because a majority of the film was, and it was directed by Martin Sheen's other son, not Charlie, Emilio Estevez. Emilio Estevez was to that, and so then a lot of the money that came from the movie went towards the Pythia in the Home to help. You know, with some funding and stuff for there. So, you know, overall, it was a really great deal for the community, brought in a lot of money. By the way, if you watch Yellowstone, they filmed some of that here in Weatherford as well. And if you watch, they're coming like with like 1883, which is like a prequel for Yellowstone. So they are filming that here in Weatherford as well. As a matter of fact, some people I know their ranch is being used for that. So I, you know, don't meet, and I may have seen Sam Elliott out and about town here, and Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. You know, so Weatherford is starting to become a hot spot for filming. So
here, if you're ever interested in being an actor, it's almost a cardinal sin when I was training, but I also think it's a good thing if you want to get involved and learn things. Is if there's extra work going about for big films, get in on it.
Oh yeah,
honestly, if you can get like even like in that area with like really good actors and just being in like a big scene, it's just so good to watch. Like get to see how they work and get their craft in, and just learn a few things. So when the opportunity comes, do it.
Yeah,
like you'll be amazed like how much fun some actors can have on a set. Depends on the film, obviously. I did like a lot of what was his name? Richard E. Grant. I had one which I was extra for that, and I can't remember the name of it. It was about like opera singer who couldn't sing anymore and all that stuff. It was really cool. But like they had a whole afternoon, heat wave, wearing a suit and tie, sitting on this bench waiting for him to do this show. And honestly, he forgot his lines, and there's like, we need to all remember to have sex, and just grabbed, like, I think it was Olivia Colman, just grabbed her. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But it, like that environment is so funny because it's like you can have a laugh and have a bit of banter. I mean, I say have a laugh, like beware of continuity, guys, because they look I shit, you know what, they look for the smallest detail. Like I'm in that film somewhere. You could barely see me. I will put my money on it. If you show me the clip, I could maybe show you the general area I was sitting. But if you could spot me, good luck. And this guy kept coming and fixing my tie, like constant, just tied there. Like I'm not even touching it.
Yeah.
Like, scratch, do that bit of that just to kind of sort yourself out. Like, tie up. Like I'm like, it's not even down. It's from like there to like there. I'm like, come on, give me that. Like, let me breathe. Catering's good too.
Yeah.
If you get a good catering group, got a free. I got like 120 quid off them for.
Hey.
I don't know if I should be telling this bit, but anyway, because you get on the buses over. So when we did it, we got the bus from Edinburgh and we went to this big place down past Berwick upon Tweed. So it was like an hour's bus journey. So we got up and then we're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get the bus. And the runners were like, who needs money for your travel expenses? We cover your travel expenses. How much do you need? It's like, well, we usually get the bus, but I think the last bus goes at like 11:30, so I think we're going to miss it. It's like, and not even skipping a beat. He just went, how much the taxi? I don't know, about 100. We totally made up a number. We're like 130 quid. There you go. And if you catch your bus, have a pint on us. I was like,
whoa!
And we got left home. So we picked us up and drove us home. So we pocketed like 70 quid each. So that was the good thing about it. It's like they had too much money. Like runners were like, fuck it, there you go, take money. We don't care. Spend it. That's what it's there for. But those sort of moments were great because you can go in and just have fun and just you can learn other ones where they're serious. You'll learn like the craft and learn how they dig into their characters and all the production side of things. Even if you're not interested in acting, if you're interested in production or costume design or anything like that, go and do it. If you see a listing for being an extra for a film, especially big productions, go for it, because it's a great day. Like some of them, it's just like a day out. You might not even be needed for the whole thing. You might be there for one day and that's it, or even an afternoon. You might not be there for long, but the experience is worth the time.
Yeah,
it really is. And it helped me a bit when I was kind of still going through college and trying to figure out like what kind of acting I like to do and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's really good. Wow.
yeah. Hey, by the way, Canada Spaceman, you're damn right. You're damn right.
Wait, where are we talking about this? Yeah.
The most recent Canada Spaceman, he says,
we talk about more about anything else but yesterday's SmackDown. Right.
You're damn right.
I mean, this is a SmackDown. We'll sprinkle in some SmackDown, like this next segment of New Day. This is why we're talking about other things other than SmackDown. The New Day segment, which I love the New Day, and it's brilliant for Xavier Woods. I'm buzzing for him, but this segment was just such a waste of time.
It was.
They literally got him on, put the crown on.
2 segments. It went through 2 segments. Again, a commercial break. I'm like, Xavier come. All right, no. Kofi comes out, and then cut to commercial, and I'm like.
And all for him is say thanks for supporting me.
Yeah,
we've done it. We're going to be about opportunity. We're going to do this, and then Kofi read that decree. All hail King Woods, and then they danced, and that really was it. I felt like all they were doing was righting the wrongs of Crown Jewel, where he actually got to put the cape on this time, without it falling off.
Yeah, and I'm going to be a good king, and I'm just like, okay, okay.
Ooh. I will say this though, nobody. Correct. Now make him heel and all is great in the world. I kind of disagree, because I think you can't. The way New Day are, I don't think you can really feasibly turn them heel. Right. And they can. They're so like Xavier Woods especially. They can be so silly and comedic and entertaining.
Yeah,
I think you could maybe do stuff like this, maybe considered heelish, but you're only just going to have a laugh. You're just going to cheer along and enjoy it. So you may as well just like ride that wave of nonsense, because that's what the New Day are so good for, is just silliness and nonsense and doing crazy stuff. Like even if you did the all hail, like the King Booker stuff, if you did stuff like that but with Xavier Woods, you're cheering that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, Xavier Woods is the one who championed this. He was the one that and so you can't, I don't think at this point, because everybody knows that he's been the one on the board saying this, let's bring back King of the Ring. He's been such a baby face about King of the Ring. I don't think you can honestly make him heel after he's been the one championing this for the last 6 months or so about bringing back King of the Ring.
It's been about a good couple of years, like since Baron Corbin got in the King,
because he was. But I mean, really, the last 6 months, he's really been hitting it hard. It seems like I mean, maybe Elizabeth has a good point. Evil King Xavier, maybe the crown will go to his head, maybe, but it's going to be hard, I think, to really see him as a heel. I think maybe a gradual turn, slowly, maybe, and I think that would be a good thing to do.
I did appreciate that Crown Jewel was like, now you do, I tell you to do. So if I were telling you to cut the camera, you cut the camera. You come with me. I was just like, does he realize what the job is? It's just holding the crown in his head.
Which is what they say. If you ever watch like something wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, he talks about how Triple H hated it, and he always would try to find a way to destroy the crown every time. That he hated that crown, and he would just like find a way to get it destroyed or whatever.
Very good follow-up question from nobody worth remembering as well here. Question is, what do they do with Vega? Someone like her, at least in my opinion, needs someone bigger to oppose her will on the other women. I don't think she just needs a bigger woman. I think she needs a crew. Yeah. So now how we've got the King's Court, I feel like she'll do her own Queen's Court.
Right.
Like have like bigger talents, bigger people, like big or imposing wrestlers around her. So then she doesn't wrestle that much, and then what have you? Because they need to do a lot of work with Vega. Like Cujo's bringing up saying they might bury her with it. I don't know. It's kind of a bit of a waste to go if you're going to make her Queen of the Ring or whatever. But you never know. Bear in mind, she hadn't won a match for months until like a week before the tournament, and then all of a sudden she's won it, which I kind of was a bit upset about. I was calling bullshit on that. It's like you have not Piper Niven, the Dowdrop or Dewdrop, how you say it. Yeah. Beat Shayna Baszler, who's on a run, who was on a tear, and then she loses clean to Zelina Vega. Mm-hmm. I was a bit angry about that. I mean, I get Vega winning the tournament. I get it, but maybe not actually. But you know what I mean? Like the imagery and how she pulls it off, great. But when you've got someone who's on a run, like Shayna Baszler, who lost in this tournament, to someone like Doudrop, who you reckon is one of the better talented wrestlers in the whole women's division, dare I say, and I will fight that corner, being a British wrestling fan and all that, and seeing her do death matches and tag matches and proper wrestling matches, even wrestle guys, and she does solid work. To see her lose clean like that to Zelina Vega just doesn't compute in my head. It just doesn't make sense. I'm like,
right.
I get, if you don't want her to be queen of the ring and you're going to do that, don't put her in the tournament.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Like, don't damage her like that.
Yeah. And then what did I say though? What did I say? I said they're going to put her in this because they want us, because of what she'll dress, of how she'll dress for this thing. I said that from the beginning. The whole purpose is for Zelina Vega to cosplay this thing, from the beginning and how they come out. And of course, what do we see? We see her come out cosplaying as a queen, wearing these outfits and everything. That's what it's going to be. That's the whole. Yeah. That's all there's going to be to it, really. And I mean, which is unfortunate because you have people like Doudrop, you have people like Shayna Baszler who are good wrestlers. Zelina Vega is a marginal wrestler at best, and as she is tiny as all get out. And of course, it's not like they could really have her cosplay as a queen in Saudi Arabia. I mean, they had to wear T-shirts and full body suits and things along those lines. But that's the only reason why Vega won this at this point, I think. Which is sad. It's really, it should be about the wrestling, not about the look. And if that were the case, Doudrop should have won. And again, this is the booking thing that they've gotten themselves into. What like, is it because the whole women's title thing is all fucked up, so then we want to put Zelina Vega on SmackDown as queen, the Queen's Crown or whatever, because the title's all fucked up? And then can anybody win it then? So can somebody come in and beat her for the crown and be queen of the crown? Or does it have to be in the tournament? I mean, what's does it give her an opportunity? No, it doesn't do anything. It's again, well, let's, Aleister Black is over here on AEW and his wife is hot and she likes to cosplay. So let's let her win.
Queen costume.
Yeah. Let's let her win so that we can have her coming out every week looking all hot as a queen and, dressing in these skimpy outfits as a queen, because, we can do that. Because she's done.
And now she's on Raw, so we'll never get to see it.
Okay.
But let's crack on. Mansoor versus Ali. Ali won by a roll-up. Moving on.
Why the fuck is this on our TV again?
I'm just going to move on with that one because it was just a rematch. It was a good match, but it served for no purpose apart from Mansoor getting a win again over Ali and running away.
Did we get to see it on Fox? No.
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
We watched it last night. Why are we watching it up? Oh my god! Again, going back to the clip I played earlier, and the toddler said, "This is bullshit. This is bullshit."
Also, don't they Doudrop was looking hot in her Saudi ring gear. Of course she was. She's from Glasgow in 90 degrees Saudi Arabia heat with a full body suit and a t-shirt. Of course she's fucking roasting, mate. It's boiling.
Oh my god!
Sorry, I had that in the chamber. I was going to get that one out. But so we got that out of the way. Hit Row versus the Wichitas.
Yeah, I know.
I know we talked about this at the Drew McIntyre segment, but I do feel bad for them that they had to just do the jobber gig. It's like we got them to face jobbers on their first night. This whole thing. Like, great. I think they will do great things on SmackDown. Don't get me wrong. I thought their opening promo coming out, the rapping, the sort of rhyming, and sort of we learned about them pretty much. It was like an introduction about who they were, what they were about, what they were good at. They ticked every box. The opponent was the problem for me. They didn't put a foot wrong in this. They were fantastic. Their shtick in the ring as well, when they were like chanting with each other, when they were coming up for bigger moves, was just like I've never really seen anything like this before on like regular WWE TV. So it was refreshing. It was really nice. And you know what? There's things that they'll do that fans will pick up on and cheer along with in place. So it was really good. Pat McAfee was also a highlight. with bigging up those two jobbers. Like, these are champions of
Yeah.
Wichita.
Yeah. Yeah, he won 10 straight matches at the Wichita Rodeo. And I'm like, for the white guy and the other guy, he said something about it. And it's just like, he's just pulling that straight out of his ass.
Proper Bobby Heenan level shit.
Yeah,
that's what I loved about it. It was this
great.
was what he would say. It was brilliant. But good match. I've not really got much to add because, like, we talked about it in the Drew McIntyre bit when we thought they could have had a bit more. It just shows that problem of, like, we've got them introducing themselves, but because of the match, we've not really got a reason why we should appreciate them as players or why we should appreciate them as, like, someone important going forward. Great, they beat two guys from Wichita. They could have got a win over someone bigger. We've got the Viking Raiders that haven't been doing much. I think that would have been a good debut match for them. Or I don't know. I forgot all the tag teams that we talked about this last week. There's loads of tag teams that bounced over, but like any one of the teams that moved over, like, just get them on their way. Just start rolling them up. You don't have to put them. I'm not saying you put them with the Usos right away. You don't put them in tag title pictures right away, but at least make them look contenders and then make them look important. Like, these are the guys to watch. These guys come from NXT. They've been a big deal there in NXT. They might do some brilliant things in SmackDown. So these are guys to watch. But we never really got that vibe off that. I mean, I got the vibe from them, Hit Row themselves. Like, I want to watch them because of how they were and what they did last night. Like, 100%. But the presentation and the matches that they done didn't. Like, it worked against itself. Like, I know that these guys sell themselves and do well, but you've got to help them out somehow. You can't just give them nobodies. No offense to the guys they face. I don't even know their names, but you can't do that to them at this stage. Like, that's a Ryback thing. We'll give them like nobodies and have them smash them or anything like that. It's just meh. So I want better next week. I want them with an established team or established name. Put Isaiah in with Sami Zayn. Easy match. Or Ricochet. As you say, the Ricochet was there. Get him in the ring. Ricochet, like, great match. Fun. Does the job. Like, Ricochet's on a losing streak anyway, so might as well give him another loss for his record and make someone really good for it,
Yeah, I mean, there's that. There's, all the different people that could have been done, and it's just sad that we didn't get that last night.
What could have been is a big question. For
exactly. I mean, there's just so much that could have happened. You even have with the Aaliyah chick. Who, like as Dargo says, is Carmella with brown hair. So literally they replaced Carmella with Carmella who has brown hair.
Okay with that.
I mean, but like, and that's where like I think it was after this match is when we got the segment of everybody introducing themselves, all the new players. Didn't they say Xia Li was going to wrestle tonight and then she ended up not wrestling tonight?
I don't know. I can't even remember, but I would be surprised if that happened.
Debuting tonight or whatever, and then
also, what's this push I've been hearing? Like, apparently they're going to turn Shotzi Blackheart heel. They're going to turn Xia Li babyface. Like, what?
I don't know.
Why? Like,
who the fuck knows anymore? I mean, seriously, it is such a clusterfuck right now.
Xia Li should be a heel all day long right now. Like, I don't. Like, if you see anything of what she did in NXT, gangster.
But let's be honest. She had that faction of her with Boa, and then the crazy like witch-looking lady, which turned her heel kind of thing. So, I mean, I saw her work as a babyface too. I'm not gonna lie to you, she's fucking hot. Yeah. I mean, so she can pull off being a babyface because she is hot as balls. And I mean, I could, appreciate that.
She's also a machine. Have you seen her training videos?
Her training videos are incredible. So I could see her being a babyface. So that's not a stretch for me as much as, like just it's almost like they don't know what to do. Pardon me. And you got Shotzi. Like, what do you do with her now? You had her in a tag team. You split her and her tag team up. What's the whole point? Why did we not see Shotzi? Why did we Toni Storm? Why did we not see Toni Storm?
She's on Raw, Oh no, we don't. No, she's here. Yeah, she's on our roster.
Hello. I mean, there's so much that could have been done with all these people that were here, and it just fell so short, and that was the problem. Was you and I are sitting here talking about all these people, that things that could have been done last night, not having to use anybody from Saudi Arabia. Give them the fucking night off. They worked hard and they traveled 22 hours to get to Wichita, Kansas, and showed up on the show. Give them just like give Drew just a promo. Just give him to come out and say, it's good to be here. I love Wichita, stuff like that. Whatever that is, I don't care. But don't make him wrestle. We didn't need to see some of the stuff we did last night. Like you said, I like Hit Row. What if we would have had him go against an established tag team, not the jobber match? I get the understanding. It's old school. You have the jobber match with, to introduce somebody. But then my problem is that Hit Row, that's not even the regular tag team. Swerve Scott normally is by himself. It's usually the other guy in Top Dollar who are the tag team. And then Swerve Scott is normally the solo guy, and you got 4 people in a faction. Granted, I think that's been a while since we've seen something that big, especially a faction that has a woman, a tag team, and a male singles, partner. So, I'm interested in that fact of, okay, this is a pretty for WWE. That's a pretty big faction. And I'm interested in how it works. Somebody earlier said it's Hit Row was like Street Profits with just a woman, a little bit. I could see that somewhat, but they don't have quite the charisma that Street Profits had. To me, Street Profits had a lot more charisma than Hit Row does. But again, this is the first I'm seeing of Hit Row. I kind of
you can't really judge them on this appearance as
well. Yeah, that's what I did, and I kind of liked. I was like, okay, I can see some stuff. We can go forward from here. Oh God, yes, yes, Canada Spaceman, Princess Bride, and Andre the Giant. Princess Bride is one of my. Is ultimately my. It's the perfect movie. If someone's going to ask me what the perfect movie is, it is going to be that. So. And that's we got this segment of everybody introducing each other, and they could have all been in matches. We could have done something great and do this, because they talked about how Monday is the season premiere of Raw. Technically, this is the season premiere of SmackDown because we have the new roster.
Yeah, well, we had to have that 2 weeks ago when it made no sense to have it.
I know. It was stupid. Which I said that 2 weeks ago. How stupid was it that we were calling this a season premiere? We don't even have the new roster yet.
I know. All about this was so dumb, but
yeah,
I'm hopeful for them. I really am. I really hope they do well. I really hope they show off a little bit more what they're keeping. I hope everyone does that's made the move to SmackDown, because they're in a good spot. Like, make them look like a big deal and other things. The second to last segment we can breeze through, because we don't like Madcap Moss or Happy Corbin. Nakamura and Boogs. Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. Very good match. Quite appreciated Boogs playing guitar while Nakamura was wrestling. Like doing when he was doing Sweet Vibrations and all the other stuff. It was just a fun match. Mostly overshadowed by Moss and Boogs fighting over the guitar at one point. I can't remember who won it. Was it Nakamura that won it?
No, it was Corbin.
Corbin did, because he was like, "Oh shit,"
because they got distracted, and because they were talking about it's a non-title match for the Intercontinental title, but they were like, and of course I knew Baron Corbin was going to win, because they said at some point, like maybe 4 or 5 minutes into the match, McAfee says, "Yeah, if Corbin pins him, he's got a good shot. He's got a good excuse to like go, be a contender for the title."
Just for title,
and that's just like, oh, good Lord.
Oh, my soul! I felt that in my soul. Oh no!
So foreshadowing, and I mean, yes, this madcap shit's got to go. The joke was stupid. That was like, I tell more quality dad jokes than that. I mean, if you're gonna tell a good quality dad joke, then give it a good one. Like, I hate to say it, but cashiers are always checking me out. I mean, throw that one out there. Do something better than what he. I mean, that's even better than what he did. Yeah. It just, I feel like this is a gimmick that's already run its course. The whole Happy Corbin, Madcap, Moss thing.
He doesn't need to make the jokes. This is what I don't get.
Yeah.
Like, why is he doing jokes? They've never explained this. They just said, you're going to, even like after the draft, like, you got all these new talents you're going to be making jokes about now, aren't you? It's like, yeah, like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I don't want it. There's no need for it. We don't have to talk about it anymore because we've got bigger fish to fry.
Oh,
this is why we're all here, isn't it? We've dragged this out an hour. We've talked about Ego Montoya. We've talked about the start of SmackDown. We've talked Bond. We've talked working in the movies. We've talked all sorts. It's all led to this. And I'm sure you, the watcher, waited for this whole time as well. So we appreciate you joined us in the chat while we've done it.
There's that bullshit!
The worst thing in every possible way this was, especially considering, right? We've been teasing this whole double champ thing for weeks. Without a lie. To the point where even last night where Becky Lynch was like, maybe I don't want to give my belt. Maybe I want to be Becky 2 belts again.
I never lost
cool. And then so mistake number 1, having a trade of the titles again. Because I think there's way more interest in storytelling having them have the opposite brand's title, but they're pussies. So we're not doing that. Problem number 2, which we will get to. Becky and Charlotte clearly weren't on the same page.
No.
And then problem number 3, Sasha Banks being put into a feud with Charlotte, despite the fact that Survivor Series is coming up. So it doesn't matter because we won't have to worry about that until Survivor Series. Although it seems like they're going to try and sort that stuff before Survivor Series. Oh my God, this is such a mess. I don't even know where to start. Let's do the segment quickly. Let's talk about it.
The problem is you're doing this bullshit.
I don't know what they need this for. Like, they've totally hyped up the reasoning behind why, like, the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
And they've been working on, they've built this thing. It's like, oh, well, we can have a match to have the titles. Because everyone involved in that triple threat match from side were all like, I want to unify the titles. Mm-hmm. Even Charlotte Flair was like, I want to unify the titles. So they've told us this. They have told us that they want all these 4 women wanted to win the one, like the 3 women in Crown Jewel wanted to win the title, and then they wanted to win the other one. Fine. And then Charlotte Flair's like, well, I've got one, and you're all fighting for it. I want to fight for the other one. So all signs point to Survivor Series, obviously, but even more so, you could have a main event where they had a unification match with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, or Charlotte and Bianca Belair, or whoever. But no! The night after Crown Jewel, we're just going to pass them over badly in the ring.
Again, you could have solved this the night before by having like Sasha win the belt for SmackDown, and and whoever who's going to Raw wrestle Charlotte, and Charlotte loses that match and has it for. You could have solved this,
or you just don't make them, or you don't change them at all, and just keep them that way, because then you can play them off both brands. Yeah. If you really want to have Charlotte on both brands, fine. Becky Lynch especially, because we get it. She's the second biggest name in the company right now. Like, brilliant. Back and forth, back. It makes sense to have her have that title because you could do both.
Yeah.
It's same with Charlotte if you want to do it. Fantastic.
Exactly. Look, exactly.
Works for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Bianca could have won the title on Monday night from Charlotte. Sasha could have won it on Thursday. And I agree with Canada Spaceman that Charlotte Flair has been replaced. She is looking so plastic surgeryed up. I mean, it is.
Well, funny you say that, Elizabeth. I will be getting into that very shortly about something about that.
Yeah. So
backstage dealings of this.
Yeah. So let's be honest. Yeah. Where's the Fox TV women's belt like AEW should have? Exactly. But okay, we all agree this was shit. It was the worst. It was fucking stupid. They did it once before with the tag belts. We agreed it was stupid. It was ridiculous. Didn't need to happen.
We talked about it on this very show.
Yeah, exactly. You and I talked about that. And then they did it again with this and other shit. And then, of course, we come to find out that, the whole segment was fucked up because both of them did not want to play ball. Becky, according to PW Insider, Becky a little bit more so was going to play ball. But
from what I was gathering, it sounded like Becky reacted badly to Charlotte not playing ball. Because... we can talk about it now since we're here. This is the whole point of the segment we're talking about. Yeah. where we're talking about the segment to go to plan. Becky Lynch had an argument backstage after the segment, but beforehand, Charlotte was concerned that this was going to make her look bad for some reason, even though they were hand over the belt. So the idea was supposed to be the hand belt over, done, and then have like a back and forth or whatever. Apparently, she was worried that Becky would make her look bad doing this, which is really weird. But then, so they had this thing, and in the mat, what was supposed to happen is they just hand the belt over and then maybe snatch it off one another or something like that. Mm-hmm. But because Charlotte was worried about looking bad, what she decided to do is go on into business for herself and throw the title away. So then Becky had to, but then, so this I'll appreciate, right? Even Sonya Deville will give her credit for this one because they went straight into improv mode. Mm-hmm. It's like Sonya Deville identified that so fast and done a great job of this because as soon as Charlotte throws that belt, ping, pick that up.
Yeah.
Get that picked up. It was like she knew exactly something went wrong.
Scolded her like a mom would scold a 4-year-old. Like,
exactly.
No, you pick that up right now. Pick it up.
And it was like, that was like a red flag. But like, well done, Sonya Deville, for like reading the room, identifying what's just happened, knowing that this isn't in the script, and just like, and she's made the effort to try and bring it back to where it was supposed to be.
Right.
Didn't matter anyway. Because
Becky
threw the belt.
I mean, and she chunked that belt.
Oh yeah.
She fucking, and then Charlotte, catches it barely, but like shoves it. Becky just, you could tell at that point they were both pissed. And you have to imagine Vince was just livid at this point. Somebody asked that earlier, how they felt the Raw belt hitting the ground, and then everybody, the way everything handled. He had to be so livid backstage, And you said, so I sent you the story earlier in the day about how they're talking about this happening. Now you said there were some updates to this story.
Yeah, so I got from I'm reading this off a Fightful Select right now, so I'll kind of read you the whole thing. They confirmed the PW Insider thing. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair had a heated argument backstage after the segment over Charlotte making Becky Lynch look bad by throwing down the title when it wasn't called for in the script. The original script actually called for Becky Lynch to grab the title away from Charlotte and brag about being Becky 2 belts again before Sonya Deville would order Becky to hand the belt to Charlotte. Charlotte didn't agree to this. Didn't agree this was the best course of action, but was told to stay the course. Apparently, everyone had been in agreement that it was going to be awkward anyway. They were all like, "Well, it's going to be shit and awkward." Yeah. So after Charlotte dropped the title on the ground, Lynch ended up throwing hers at Charlotte, which we're told was planned for the segment. Whether that was the case or not, we don't know. After the segment concluded, there was a shouting match backstage, and Charlotte had stated that dropping the title was accidental. What didn't look accidental to me. Fighter were told that Charlotte was asked to leave the venue before Becky Lynch's dark match concluded to avoid any further confrontation. There was something else that was here. It is. Much of the roster, staff, and officials had already left the building as there was a heavy travel week. Saudi Arabia. There was a report that did come out. TalkSport were talking about this, and it was confirmed by Fightful here. She'd taken issues with the booking this week in general, mainly because of Raw, because she would have preferred to have lost clean to Bianca Belair. Now, if that's the case, we could have had the switch there and then.
Yeah.
Which is just weird. It just, to me, this whole thing just plays as like Charlotte's in the wrong for me. Like if you're getting regardless of your opinions on the matter, if you're out on stage, you've been given your script, you've been given your orders, you do that. You're on that stage, you've made the agreement and understanding that you've taken the orders, you know the script, you will do that as asked. As soon as you pull shit like that off and start trying to go off script, go into business for yourself, it's unprofessional, it's unnecessary, and it fucks the whole show up as well. It makes people look bad. Like, it's kind of Spaceman. Oh no, so that's just a reference. I thought you noticed that she was getting more annoyed as the segment went on, but like, it fucks everyone else up as well. Like, as I say, well done to Sonya Deville, but if that was someone who wasn't switched on or didn't know what to do, then that could have went down the rails. That could have went all over the shop. What if Becky Lynch reacted a lot angrier than what she did. You know, there's been precedent this in wrestling before, like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. What if that happened? You know, what if something were to go hell? Bro? What about Sasha Banks? If this went off the rails, when did they get Sasha Banks in?
Yeah.
You know, it got to that point where we worked out Sasha Banks come to the ring, but still, you can't do these things.
Right.
And then there's this whole business with like Andrade putting the tweet out later that night saying, "If you WWE," it's like it's not your fucking problem. You're not there.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Like I get it. You're a fiance. You are, but you're in the other company. It's not your fucking problem. You're not in the back room. You're not dealing with this thing. You'll get told the he says, she says of it, and you'll make a decision. Likely listening to Charlotte. Fair enough. We're all like that. We're all human.
Right.
But there's a core issue at this, and there's unprofessionalism, and we have to recognize it. It has to be stamped out. Like I'm not saying there'll be a punishment as such, but I think there'll be a stern talking to both of them. But I'm not sitting here believing that Charlotte is not instigated that.
Right.
I'm not here to listen to that. She 100% has something. She was behind something in that.
Yeah.
And I think Becky Lynch has been like not forced, but I feel like she responded because of that. And that's not the best thing to do either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say
you can even see that when like Sasha Banks comes out and she's like, well, I'm just going to see whoever. I'll see whoever at SummerSlam and like just kind of get the fucks out of there. You can see it even in that moments too. She was still pissed, and you know, she was still upset about that. You know, and again, so
and we've got history of this now as well. That's like 2 months now that Charlotte's had this, and then the scuffle she had with Nia Jax on live TV.
Live TV. You know what I mean? You know. How the Flair name is only going to carry her so far. You know, let's be honest. She's not going to be able to keep up with this bullshit anymore. At some point, Vince is going to go, that's enough, and we're done with this bullshit. You know, and I feel like
I wonder if Flair's in her ear as well. Like our dad's got to be in her ear as well. Like these guys are just going to try and discredit you. Your contract's going to run out. They're going to make you look bad. You defend yourself. You're a Flair. Make yourself look as good as possible.
Well, you mean he's not employed with WWE anymore, so
no. But I mean, like he would be in her ear in general anyway. Like, he isn't bad.
You know,
he would probably say things to her and just be like, "Look."
I wonder.
She might message her dad like that. I don't know what I feel about this segment. What, you got advice? Don't let them make you look bad. I think that's something that's maybe been drilled into her since like the early days. Like don't make them make you look bad. Whatever happens, you do not look bad. You must do whatever you can to not look bad. Whatever the price, look good.
Yeah, Elizabeth, I don't know when her contract is up.
I'd imagine it'd be ages away.
Yeah, I think she's not getting pretty good.
She's not getting released anytime soon.
No, I think she's locked down pretty good, especially since they just let go of Ric Flair. I don't think they're going to let her go anytime soon. So, you know, I mean, it was just a fucked up situation. There's nothing you can say about it other than, you know, it all looked bad. You know what I mean? And, you know, it made Sasha less than. It made Charlotte less than. It made Becky less than. You know, I mean, really, at the end of the night, you know, it made less because Becky tried to do the Becky two belts thing, and you know, because I don't know if you saw that, you know, because when finally she had Charlotte pick it up and hand it to the belt, and Becky tried to do the Becky two belts thing, and it just didn't come off. It was awkward, and, you know, it didn't work, and you know, Sonya was like, just stop it, give her the belt, you know, just you know, it was almost like, you know, Sonya was the referee out there almost per se, and like, you know, fuck this, we're not doing this, just give her the belt, let's get this over with, and Becky was annoyed by all that. And it was just bad, you know.
This should have easily set up Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And here we are asking questions about professionalism, about who did what and why. What maybe the relationship as friends is breaking down, or is this even just a ploy? Maybe this whole thing was just made up just to kind of bring some manufactured intrigue in here. We'll never know unless you were in that room. I mean, it's a bit suspect. Which I will say, it is a bit suspect that the majority of the roster, staff, and production folk were gone by that segment. Yeah. And then this news came out apparently within the hour. Like, as soon as it happened, everyone knew about it. So it's a bit weird. That's my only issue with that, is a bit weird timing that this has happened. So it could be awfully convenient that this is just nothing's happened, and then might get that tweet out now. Done, or just put this out, because as far as I knew, Becky Lynch and Charlotte were close friends in real life. So to have it break down over this nonsense would be even more stupid.
Yeah.
Like, get a grip, lasses. Just get a grip. Like, your performers, your actors, it's a show. It doesn't fucking matter. No matter where you are in the card, there's no small parts, it's only small actors. If you're at the top of the card, if you're a jobber, if you're a curtain jerker, if you're a mid-carder, whatever, just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy being there, doing your craft, having fun, making it. Don't get caught up in this nonsense about looking bad or having your stock. Your stock is only as valuable as the writing staff and the crew that are around you will make it. It doesn't matter about yourself. You want to make yourself you look good doing your job. Yep. So if you do the shit storylines and you look really good doing it, you do the good stuff and you look amazing doing it. So that means when you go to someone like AEW, I mean, look at Aleister Black. He got fed shit at WWE and he's looking really good right now. Why? Because he's stuck in. He'd done his work. He was professional. He'd done all of this. It doesn't matter. This isn't 1984. This is the modern time that we all know what the game is. We do podcasts, not just us, millions, hundreds of podcasts, YouTube channels and everything. Break it down. We all know it. So stop behind this facade that you have to be looking good coming out of every situation.
Yeah. You're
only as good as your work. Your character is not you. And this is the thing I think some people might forget is your character isn't you in real life. Like, switch that off. So when you go in the ring, that's when you character. If your character's looking bad, it's because you're doing it bad.
Yeah.
It's not because it's fair enough. The writing can be rubbish and the production will be poor. That will happen. But 9 times out of 10, if you're looking bad, if you're coming out looking bad, it's because of you. And this stuff doesn't help either. This really doesn't help. If you're not worried about looking good, then don't pull this shit off that's getting pulled off.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah. No, it was just sad, really. They're better than this. That's the problem. Yeah. I mean, I think you and I both can agree that they're better than this. And, it was sad to see something like this have to happen on live TV. And, the problem is the common denominator here is Charlotte. I mean, some people said, well, Becky's low class or whatever, but you have to look at the common denominator. Charlotte has been involved, like you said, the Nia Jax thing. She's becoming more and more unreasonable to work with, it seems like, just from what we're hearing, from the point of view we're getting from our side, and from what's being released. And so as much as I love wrestling, and like we said last week, my love of wrestling hasn't come from WWE. It's come from independent wrestling and watching independent wrestling here locally and seeing some of the stuff that we get to do. So, I understand that there's stuff that goes on. I hear about it from some of the guys. Sometimes they talk about some of the shit they have to deal with. They tell me on a personal basis of, promoters or people or things that they deal with, and I mean, and I tell these guys, hey, if you need to talk, that's what I'm here for. That's what I do for a living. And so some of them take that up and, I hear about shit all the time that happens. But at the same time, too, it's sad that somebody you came through the rigors with, somebody you put in the work with to make women's wrestling what you want it to be, that you've gone and you've just ruined it by being what everybody expected women to be. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is the problem with women's wrestling sometimes is they expect this, women being catty and petty and doing all these kind of things. And they just showed that,
and
you've ruined years of work.
Yeah. And this is what makes it more crazy. And you nailed it on the head is the hard work's been done.
Yeah.
The women are in like main events at WrestleMania, big pay-per-views. They're having title matches at Saudi Arabia. They've got big names now. Bianca Belair's starting to go up the ranks. Like the work's been done. You've built this legacy and foundation. I mean, granted, they don't get booked all that great all the time, but here we are. Like they've done it. They've achieved this. It's like that's something to be proud of. And so why get all weirdly like worried about looking bad? Like, what's this mentality? Why? You don't have to be worried about looking bad. I mean, your career, your legacy, everything's set. Even and you can see it on honesty. Why we think of Charlotte Flair, there'll never be a situation in WWE where they'll actively make her look bad.
Right.
They'll not do it. They'll never do it. So it's weird paranoia. And that's why I was thinking maybe Flair's in her head. Maybe Ric Flair's kind of spoke to her and just been like, this title thing doesn't look normal. Like, what does that mean about your title run? Like, come on. Like, that
Well,
looks like bad.
to
It's
me,
like,
I feel like it's more privileged because she's lived off the Flair name for the last 10 years. You know, I mean, that's what she's done. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, Charlotte Flair is a product of who her dad is. I mean, she's put in the work, and
I think that's, we have to give that credit, is she has put in the work.
she has put in the work. But does she get where she's at if Ric Flair is not her dad? Does she give that opportunity?
It's the ever old question. Would she ever get that opportunity?
I don't think she does. I don't think she gets the opportunity because she wasn't really wanting to do it. You know, I mean, like, you know, we hear on these interviews all the time, you know, oh, she was a volleyball player, and this is, you know, volleyball was really where her passion was, and wrestling wasn't really a thing for her, but it wasn't until, you know, whenever the WrestleManias was or something, she saw something and then she decided she wanted to do it. So this has not ever been a passion for her. This has never been the thing she's always wanted to do growing up, you know?
Yeah.
And so she gets the opportunity because her last name is Flair, you know? And that's really more of what it is, for, you know, I think. And so, you know, honestly, it's one of those things where, you know, I'm not saying that, okay, but it's been good. She's put in the work. She's separated herself. She's shown that she can do it. And all that. But at the same time, too, you know, being the child of Ric Flair goes to your head.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Ric Flair's kid. Okay, great. I don't care. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, I don't care that, you know, you're Ric Flair's kid. Show me what you can do. Show me that you can do something with that name rather than just I'm Ric Flair's kid. You know, and I think she's done that, but now it's kind of back to the point of she's so used to leaning on it that it's become a part of her nature. And, you know, how dare you talk to me? I'm Ric Flair's kid. I'm Charlotte Flair. And I mean, you can almost see that in real life, you know, with some of the things that are going on right now. Like, this is all stupid stuff. It's wrestling. How is it that you're doing this kind of stuff in real life? Going, well, you know, I'm Charlotte Flair. You know, I'm 13-time women's champ. You know, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Shut up, go do your job, and, you know, stop being petty. Yeah, stop being petty. You know, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's stupid. It should never have gotten to this point to begin with, because and of course, like you said, we shouldn't have to have the hand off the titles and switch the titles. We could have had all this solved Monday night on Raw and Thursday night at Saudi Arabia. And not having even to deal with this shit in the beginning.
So even you could say this whole thing's a consequence of WWE not having consistent booking as well. Like, their plan has brought this on themselves.
Exactly.
But Carney's gonna Carney.
And as
let's
before,
just throw that out there.
And you know, again, talking about the booking of this, all of a sudden, again, it comes back to the realization of this is all bullshit. You know, their booking has just been bullshit from the beginning. And I'm sorry. You know, that's how I see it. It's bullshit. There's nothing better you can say about it.
I think that's the best way to sum up the SmackDown as a whole. Everything that happened about it, everything from start to after the Brock Lesnar reigns first, from then onwards, from then onwards, you could say that there's so many missed opportunities, things that didn't make sense, people getting paired up with people that you shouldn't really get paired up with, people not even having matches when they could have had debuts. You know, these little things are just damaging SmackDown. You know, where this isn't the SmackDown that we had like a month ago. You know, we don't have like all of our big players from a month ago. Like Street Profits to me, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch now, some big names that we're getting rid of that we've moved over to Raw. Kevin Owens has moved over to Raw now, you know, and it's like, we've got the Drew McIntyres back. Big E's moved over. He's a champ now. He's over into Raw. Like, we've got Drew McIntyre. Yeah, we've got the New Day. We've still got Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar will probably pop up now and again. But at the same time, like, per person, you would say SmackDown's roster is the younger roster in terms of talent that we've not seen much of, that haven't had as much exposure, that are going to get a big opportunity by being on this. And here we are. We're not giving them that opportunity. That we need to set that marker for them, because if we don't know why they're important, like they made a big deal about Hit Row coming over. It's like, if we don't know why they're important, then there's a problem. It's an uphill struggle for SmackDown. It's an uphill struggle for them to start establishing names. It's not so much that problem in Raw, because it's all established talent that they've got. So my worry is, like, stuff like this just damages SmackDown for maybe not. It's not like the end of the world thing. Don't get me wrong. Like, they'll bring it back, they'll recover, and it'll set in a good pace. But for what WWE like to do and set up things like Survivor Series, and now this being and by all intents and purposes, the layup for a Rampage, where fans are going to be watching Rampage, they might want to watch SmackDown to get into it for Rampage. So you want to have a fun show there with fun talent, so then people come back. So it's not just like, well, I'm killing time for Rampage. It stops becoming a time killer for Rampage. It becomes, I'm going to watch WWE because they've got good talent, good roster,
Right.
and they do. They have a really good roster. So, like, let's use them. Let's not just hide them away. Be proud of them. Like, the work was done in NXT. If they're not ready to be on TV after their time in NXT, then why are you calling them up? Just get them up. Just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? They don't get a reaction, or they get booed, or what? Fine. Back to the drawing board. We'll do something. We'll figure it out. It's an ever evolving and changing thing. You can never have like an answer for every situation. You just have to commit to it and go for it. But yeah, this SmackDown for me was just a lot of problems, a lot of missed opportunity, and I'm kind of glad we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad we're calling it on that one.
Yeah. I mean, it was like you said. The problem was, we knew going in there could have been so much potential.
Yeah,
and of course, as our coaches in football used to say when I played football, American football in high school, it said potential means you ain't shit yet. And that's the problem. We had potential for the show to be great, or at least a good show, solid show coming out, new roster, everything in place to do something new and different, and to come out and get ready for this new year. And the potential was there, but once again, they show that potential means you ain't shit yet. If you're not ready to have Rich Holland in a match on this first night, if you're not ready to have not Hit Row because they did, but somebody, Aaliyah, Xia Li, some of these people that you've brought out, Ricochet, how are you not ready to have Ricochet on a match on fucking SmackDown on Fox, on free TV, where millions of people can watch for free when they haven't been able to see that, and you're not going to have Ricochet on the match? I mean, the dude does so many almost superhero level shit in the ring, and you're not going to have that on free TV? What the hell are you doing right now? You had that opportunity, and you didn't do it. It's like, really, like, to me, and I don't mean to harp on it, but like, that's the biggest one for me. You had Ricochet, who didn't go to Saudi Arabia, who's right there ready to go. And you didn't use him. The dude hasn't left fight. You didn't use Viking Raiders, one of the more unique presentations of the night. You didn't use him. What are you doing?
Well, we did, but their job was to grab Brock Lesnar from going on Rampage.
We didn't use
waste.
It was a waste.
It's wasteful.
It's waste. It is waste. And that's the sad part, is like, we had so many people that could have been used, that could have been something special, and we didn't do it. And that's the sad part, is there was so much there. And it's just frustrating, I guess, because I want this product to do well, because if this product does well, then all the other products, so was it high tide raises all ships, and WWE, let's be honest, at the end of the day, regardless of what people say, they are the standard for wrestling, and if they do well, it raises everybody else up, to makes them pick up their game, and which is what we want as fans. We want wrestling to be good. We want it to be something that we want to watch and enjoy. And if they keep doing this, it's just going to make things get worse and worse. Yeah. And I don't know how much I could put up with it.
Yeah, it's becoming a struggle. It can only get better, as D-Ream like to tell us when they sing. Things can only get better. I can be positive in that and be optimistic, but this was just a false start. Let's just call it a false start. and come back again next week and hope it all works out.
15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty. Never mind. We'll have another go at this.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll come back to this next week because that was a good. I think it was a really good a good place to put a pin on it there because I think we're just gonna get grumpy at SmackDown if we keep going.
What do you mean? I think we're gonna get grumpy. We've been grumpy. We've been grumpy. I've been grumpy this whole fucking time. I'm grumpy old man. This shit.
I start throwing shit across the room. It's like fucking SmackDown.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thanks to the chat for being with us. Like, thanks for being with us on this journey. What a journey of a show this has been on by. We've talked about everything. We tried to talk about anything and everything apart from SmackDown.
Yeah, thanks for letting us ramble. Thanks for letting me be an old man and be.
Thanks for enabling this. Thanks for enabling our nonsense. And they jump in on it. It's great. But yeah, if you're not listening to this live, and I don't know why you're not, because that's where the life and soul of this podcast is. It's on Hammy Media Group every Saturday. But if you're not listening, if you're listening to all the platforms like the Hammy Media Group, on Patreon, if you're listening to Channel Attitude, which is the new rebranded version of the Realm Network, so if you're not already on that, that is where we are now. You can listen on the Hammy Media area of Channel Attitude, so you can get in touch with us here. Anywhere you get your podcast from, get involved. Send us messages. Send us emails. We'd love to hear from you. You've got all the ticker down at the bottom if you watch on YouTube. But if you're not watching YouTube just now, you can email us directly, smackattackhammymedia@gmail.com. You can send us a tweet at smackattackhmg. If you're not want to go through those methods, if you're like me, you just love your Facebook, go to Facebook, Hammy Media Discussion Group. There's all sorts there. I'm there, John's there, everyone on the chat's there, I'm sure. It's a great place to do if you've got an opinion about wrestling, of sports, of anything really. If you've got something in mind, put it on the wall and we'll all talk about it. We'll all have a bit of fun. We do pick-ups for pay-per-views, live discussions for every show, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact, AEW, pay-per-views, you name it, we'll do a live chat for it as well. So get involved. It's a great place to be. If you're listening to the content, as I say, Channel Attitude, but if you want other content, if you want content that's not just about wrestling, if you want content about fun stuff, sci-fi, if you will, like the Academy Star Trek podcast featuring John Enright and Triple D, every 2 weeks, I've got a double bill coming your way, folks, because I've got a lot of Reddit issues, so I'm caught up with that. But great podcast if you want to follow all things Star Trek. We've got the NFO Star Wars podcast. We've got Suck My Balls South Park podcast. Rad Rob does his retro podcast on there. He also puts it on the Hammy Media Group page on YouTube as well. He did a great one with Ben Hameen last week about 80s.
Oh, yeah. That was good. 80s and 90s music. Yeah, that was good. Oh, and by the way, shout out to the NFL because they get a shout. They get a shout out to William Shatner. So even the NFL has to show respect to the man William Shatner for going out into space.
Respect.
Yeah.
So I did my Jose Marino impression there because it comes. They would say respect as I have more Premier League titles alone than the other ones combined. Respect. But yeah, so get involved in that. We'd love to hear from you there. I kind of stormed through the plugs. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. Is there?
Do we have anything for the mail sack?
Not today. Not any mail sack questions today, but certainly get that filled because we love it when you do the mail sack.
Fill our sack so we can just unload it on you. We want to unload our sack up on you.
All over your face.
All over your face. Well, if that's where you want it. I mean,
hey, I'll put it on your belly or
wherever you
chest region. I'll make a mess of your house with the mail sack if you want. Whatever you're into, guys. Let's just we provide the service just for your pleasure.
Exactly. That is what we're here for.
Right. I'm going to call it before I get any more creepies, but thank you, John. It's been an absolute pleasure. I always love
talking
to you as we do this. It's been fantastic. Thank you, the chat. You're a lively bunch. You're a great bunch to have. Came in early, literally came in before we went live. And you've been strong every minute of the way. Yeah. It's been brilliant. Thanks for being here. Thank you, the listener. Thanks for taking the time out to listen to this podcast and supporting all things Hammy Media Group. And we will see you next week for another edition of the Smack Attack. Cheery!